Perfect. So who we are. We are 6 partners located in Toronto, Montreal, Boston, and California. We are focused on late-stage life sciences companies, and we just define late-stage as there is a clear proof of concept and the product is moving into the clinic. So we are not a preclinical investor. A lot of preclinical opportunities, things happening today. That's not where we focus. And we really spent a lot of time focusing on products that we think address clearly defined needs in the marketplace and that address what we think are the big white spaces among the logical acquirers for companies down the road. And this is really important for us, and we heard some talk about that today. We do not invest in a company when we don't understand who's going to buy the product and who's going to buy the company. That's really important to us, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. I came on board in the firm about 4 years ago and led a bit of an internal change at the firm that really focused around changing our team to be much more domain specific, and that's another thing we'll talk about. We believe in order to succeed either as an entrepreneur in the space or as a VC in the space, you need to be deeply domain specific. And so if you look at my team, we've all been there and done that. Every single person in our firm has worked in a company like yours or a bigger version thereof. Brian Underdown, one of my, whoa, not sure what happened there. Clearly I can manipulate this in ways I didn't understand. Brian Underdown, one of my partners, headed up the medical research facility at Mac. Nandini Tandon, one of my partners, was a BD person at both Chiron and GSK. Daniel Hatu is an MD, MBA by background, who was the BD guy for Biochem Pharma for many years. So it's a team that's done this for a long time, and that has done it at various levels within the industry. I think we also have a pretty good track record of getting success within our portfolio, and so I've just highlighted liquidity in our current portfolio, which is a fund called Lumira Capital Fund 1, where we've actually been able to achieve exits in our companies. And what I think is kind of interesting is if you focus across the different companies here, they do lots of different things. So Alveolus is a non-vascular stenting company. Guava is a tools company for research, primarily for research environments. Mako, we heard someone talking about non-invasive surgery today. Mako is a non-invasive knee surgery company. It did $3 million in sales last year when it went public, and will do about $35 to $40 million in revenues this year. Is one of the number 1 players in that space. Morphotech is a monoclonal antibody company. Pharmasset is a Hep 2 or Hep B company, and so it's quite a broad range. Companies like Depot and Alexa are both drug delivery companies. So you can see we invest across a wide variety of positions in the market. They tend to be things in industries that we understand, and you can see that we're a fairly large investor. So the rounds that we've participated in and led or co-led tend to be fairly large: 40 million, 62 million, 40, 40, 20. 63. So we participate in relatively large rounds. We are deeply entrenched with players on both sides of the border in terms of building investment syndicates, and this is a really important thing for us. We want to invest with other partners who have a like mind and can help us take the companies from early stage, and you see a bunch of the early stage investors, and some of them are going to speak this morning or this afternoon, right through to later stage. And we have partnered with all of these companies, most of them in the US. But also importantly, we tend to syndicate a lot with leading pharma and leading device companies. And those partnerships aren't about them, quote unquote, validating your company. They're about us having another smart partner at the table who can bring other things to bear and helping us build the company to a success point. So we don't need them to validate, but we sure as heck want them to be our partner to help us get to the right exit, to build the company in a logical way, to build it in a way that is commercially applicable. And so we've done a lot of co-investing with the big players in the space. Sorry for this double tap on the slides here. We invest truly across a continuum. We look for a variety of different characteristics, and you can read them. I don't have to read them all. We invest in virtually every kind of capital structure, everything from public companies to private companies. We've done pipes, we've done restructurings, we've done roll-ups. So we really are pretty, flexible in the kind of deal. And then we invest in a couple of therapeutic areas that we think we can make money in, and that we think our partners have the skill sets to value add to. I'll just pick on one of them, the biologics one at the top. We proactively started to go into that space 5 years ago. Why? First of all, our partners have really good skill sets in that area. One of the largest and most successful vaccine companies in North America is a company out of Toronto called Connaught, now called Sanofi Aventis. A bunch of my partners have been at Sanofi Aventis, built products there. So they really understood that space. Pharma abandoned that space 10 years ago. They realized 5 years ago they'd made a mistake. And over the last 5 years, they've made all kinds of acquisitions in that space. And if you look at some of our companies like Morphotek and Inception, which have both completed acquisitions, that's around pharma now saying, I've got a big pipeline problem. I need to fill that pipeline with new products. I abandoned biologics. Oh, lo and behold, biologics has suddenly become a huge business, monoclonal antibody business, non-existent 10 years ago. Now it's an $18 billion revenue business for big pharma. So we try and identify places where our skill sets align with the opportunity. We can source people who can help us build that company, and then we know where we can exit. So what we're looking for, I've already said, alignment. Alignment's really important. Alignment's important with the existing investors. Alignment's important with the management team. Alignment's important with the way we're going to build the business. We want well thought out business plans and reasonable valuations. People have to understand how much capital it's going to take to build this business and why the valuation is today what it is and what we hope it will be down the road. We want strong domain expertise. It's really important to us. If you don't understand the business that you're in or who the competitors in that space are, you're probably not going to get our money. Our view is you need to be much smarter than us in your domain, because we, at the end of the day, don't live and breathe it. You do. So you need to be smarter than us. We're looking for products that are in the clinic. We want strong IP. We won't invest in companies where there isn't strong IP, simply because we don't think the acquirers will buy companies that don't have strong IP. We want well-documented and scientific clinical packages. Again, it's not about us being dilettantes. It's about knowing that the pharma guys, when they come and spend time looking at these companies, want clinical packages which are tight, which are well thought out, where the right questions have been asked, where the right they've been powered correctly, the right number of people in the trial. So those things all matter. This last one's, or second last one's really important, or third last one, I guess. We really want a clear market rationale. Who will cry out for this product? And someone's going to talk about reimbursement. Who's going to pay for it? We see so many products where people cannot talk to me about the reimbursement pathway. If you don't understand your reimbursement pathway, you probably won't get funding from us. This is critical today, particularly as we look at pressure in healthcare and continuous focus on how do we get more for less. Reimbursement is a key issue. Again, I already talked about filling white spaces. And fundamentally, we don't believe in backing incrementalism. We need to back things that truly are a new way or a materially better way to treat whatever it is you're trying to treat. If it's 10 or 15% better, fundamentally we don't think you'll get on the formulary. Fundamentally we don't think you'll get reimbursement. We just don't think you'll get to where you need to be. And so why do we hope people will consider us as a partner, and why do we think our partners that we already have worked with us? I think it's because we've been there and done that. We are very empathetic with entrepreneurs. We know how tough it is to be an entrepreneur. We know what it's like to have to roll up your sleeves and go raise dough and explain to your investors why things aren't working exactly the way you thought they were going to work, but you're still committed to doing everything right. I think we really do have a good ability to build a North American financing strategy and a North American business strategy that will allow you to get to a good exit. We are deeply domain specific, so we're not generalists. I think it's very frustrating for entrepreneurs sometimes when they come and talk to us because they have a great idea, and it may be a fantastic idea and a fantastic business. It just doesn't fit what we're good at and what we think we can add value to and where we think we can really extend the franchise for that entrepreneur. And so we are domain specific and we are very focused, and we think that that's good for those companies that fit for us, but it's obviously not for those that don't. And we have a track record of success. I thought I'd spend more time now talking about sort of what's actually happening in the Canadian venture market after that little intro about us. So I think everyone kind of knows this slide, but I put it up just because it's going to be contextual for some of the stuff I'm going to talk about next. So within our ecosystem, there's a bunch of people who provide money. There's governments, there's foundations, there's angels, there's corporations, there's venture capitalists, there's venture debt people, there's public equity, and then there's banks. And I think all I'm trying to show with the color coding is gray means probably not a hope in hell of getting their money. Light green means you probably get some probability of getting their money at that stage, and dark green means you probably fit in their sweet spot at that point in stage.